seconds before I yanked everything out of its socket.
Do we still have a blue sign? We do. I love when I just yank my entire thing, headset out entirely, so that way I can definitely do things as they should be. Just trying to sort out the goddamn actual. I'm just trying. It'd be nice if it would just be easy to sort out my actual keyboard. Thank you. Fucking hell. What a start. What a start. Add the keyboard line. Keyboard plugged. Should be plugged in. So we have something resembling replays. Finally. Alright. That's a chaotic start. I apologise for all of that. Now I'm going to have to put this in the stream link chat. There we go. Copy link. Was Jack has set his one up? I will put them into announcements, make sure that everyone is aware of what's going on there. Alright, that's that typed up. For those who have joined without the need for a ping in the chat, I appreciate you guys joining early. Welcome! So this is round 1 of Season 7. You guys may have not really seen, well, we've not done a lot of Esports streams in the last month or so. First things first, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me at all? Sound of things. That is a positive on that one. So you guys can hear me, so that's a good sign. My mic has been a bit choppy with that over the last week or so, but welcome. We are in week 1 of Season 7. We have 14 teams that have signed up for this season in ALR Esports, looking to grab a little bit of glory, potentially one team to do the triple. Can they go back to back to back? That would be a first in ALR, full stop. Not very often you're able to do defend titles. I don't even know somebody's done 3 titles in a row in Mondays at this point, but FGR re-signed up for this season and look to go for 3 in a row, but they'll be facing some very fierce competition this time, because one of the teams maybe has upgraded a little bit of their driver lineup. We will take a look, all the drivers and the teams as we go along. There's 4 minutes until we get going, but let's start, because for those who aren't aware, the new rule in the league this time is that you don't actually have to confirm your car until you've driven a session in the car. So we didn't know what people were going to turn up into until right about now, to be completely honest with you. So we'll go through those lists in a second once I have the stream link from Jack. But yeah, we got. Hold on. If I could type, that would be really nice. So just typed the word Steam instead of streamer 15 times. Which is always fun. But yeah, so the 5 teams in the lobby this for qualifying in today's race is going to be the top 5 teams from the last championship. The one that ended about 4 weeks ago, for those who have been here before. Those teams are FGR, who are your reigning champions. So you see the famous white and yellow on their cards as they've donned for a few seasons here now in ALR. Then you've got second place, which is NWR. A little bit different shade of red this time as they look to fight a little bit closer for the title. See if they could actually maybe throw an upset or two in there. Then you've got, well, I think it was Project Platypus that came third last time out, which is very, very known to ALR at this point. They've done a massive number of seasons with us. They're the one of 3 teams, I believe, that have been here from the start. So everyone who's watched an ALR esports race before will be very knowledgeable of these guys, but no title in them in that team and since season 3. So they'll see P2 last season. Yeah, no, actually, did you actually jump NWR in the end? Must have been asleep for that. But yeah. Either way, Project Platypus still without a title. I'm right in saying they haven't got a title since the season 3 season. They've won 2 of the first 3, nothing since then. Looking to potentially, oh, we see an FGR car facing the wrong way for a second there. They are potentially looking to add a 3rd title to the list. So FGR, who won the championship last time out, looking to go for 3 in a row, and that'll be their 3rd title if they can do that. NWR still yet to get on the board. 2 Other Kingdoms also yet to get on the board, but they are in this lobby as well, alongside Aero GT, which is ALR's homegrown driver team. And we have 2, but the other one won't be featured in this lobby unless they manage to get one into the top 5. We need something from Jack. He's getting annoyed now. That they hadn't actually set up a stream. I need to put the tag out. I will also put a starting soon here. Looks like Jack is just sorting things out. All right. Yep, one eye on this race, one eye on F1. That is fair. I've got the NFL currently on my screen. It's certainly one way of doing it. Just wait on Jack's stream. Actually, we'll go now, and I will do Jack's stream when that comes up. One last check of the settings. We've got preset weather on. Everything is as it should be. Which means we can start qualifying. Yep. Bit in late, Jensen. God damn it, Jensen. Alright, we're actually going to do this, so we're going to run through the cards for each of the teams at the moment as well. So we're going to start with, on the top lap, we're going to start with the reigning champions. And we're going to start with the first driver, the main driver from that championship winning team last season. We'll put the stream chat out in a very, stream tag out in a very, in a second here, once it goes up. But for now, we're actually going to sit here and watch the qualifying session from Lobby A. So Aura is in a Volkswagen Beetle this season. You can see it there on the screen. The main driver for FGR looking to put in another shift this season. Who else is on the FGR team? Attengren is in what looks like an RTZ. It is a Peugeot RTZ. Looking very nicely. On the group there. Again, I'm just trying to figure out when he's actually going to put up the stream so I can put that out and we can get a little bit more numbers on this. But that's beside the point. We've got also the third driver from FGR looking like Vigo today. It is Vigo today. And he is in the GTR 18. So good option there from Vigo. He looked to put some numbers up himself. Very good driver over the last couple of seasons. Let's see if he can challenge Aura to be #1 driver on this team this season then. We got BX, who will be the first one on a lap, so we will watch him as we go round the first corner, up to the first corner, up the hill, with BX in the Ferrari, I think that looks like. I think that is the Ferrari there. For BX and for Project Platypus. I actually have a stream link now, so I will put that in the chat so everyone can actually have the announcement. There you go. The BX in the Ferrari, decent start. Let's see how he can continue on here in the first lap. We got Ate afterwards that in the RCZ, a little bit of dirt being kicked up. And at the middle of the actual flying lap here from BX. Will take me a little bit of time to actually get up to speed with the replays again as well, so everyone will need to be bear with me for that one. Welcome P1R. First time we've seen you guys race with us, so I hope you enjoy your stay. Good luck to you as well. We've got BX. That didn't look good. That didn't look good at all. It doesn't look great for Ate afterwards either. We've got Ahmed there in the back of the screen. See what he can do in a second. I think that is a Ferrari for Ahmed. It is for a Ferrari for Ahmed there. Ate in a 122.0. Ahmed there, 121.0. Alex in a Jaguar type. Bearing in mind, everyone is only allowed 2 of each. And the Aston is banned, so Jaguar 29.7. That's not a proper lap there at all from Alex. 21.7 from Zico. That's good enough for 5th, and he is in. I think that's a GTR. That is the GTR. See what else is. Vigo and Aura 1 and 2 so far. Quito in the McLaren. He's become synonymous with that car in this series at the moment. See how he does there. So Sindra also in a Ferrari. So Ferraris, 2 of the 3 Royal Kingdom drivers in a Ferrari to start the season off here. Ahmed and Sindra. Another one in a Jaguar. That did not look good for Sindra in the slightest. X90G is in a Renault. For Aero GT, he's currently in 6th. Keto in 4th is his teammate. Primecall in 7th is also a teammate in the Merc 20. All 3 drivers from Aero GT in 3 different cars to start with. Bearing in mind, rule again, for those who didn't catch it the first time, you are only allowed 2 of the same car. The Aston Martin Vantage V12 is banned. So they're the new, one of them is not a new rule for this season, the other one is. Refresher nonetheless. Yep, that is between the 8 drivers you get for each run, and then you've got a 9th that you could potentially have from week 4 onwards. Zico 20.9, that's good enough for 2nd right now. It's an improvement for Primecall as well. We've got what, Lewis and Mumu about to come to the line here, so let's have a look at what car Lewis is currently driving. Looks like an old Supra. I think it is an old Supra, actually. I think it might be the Super 97. He comes to the line. He's done a 21.1. Got enough for 6 right now. What about Mumu as he comes to the line in the M3? And he's done a 20.6, 2 2.25 tenths pole. As it stands, the X about to come, on his first lap. Mortal about to come to the line. I think Jensen is also there as he is in a Suzuki Swift. We found that one out earlier in the week. He actually held himself to it. Mortal to the line now. Not a great start in the Merc for him. 22.0. Needs to find some time there. What about BX? Imagine we're going to have a couple of pit stops incoming in a second here. Welcome to everyone joining. Appreciate everyone spending the afternoon, the evening with us. And for some people, the clocks will have screwed them over just a little bit, but we're figuring it out. 21.2 there for Harlex as he looks to put himself on the map this season. Prime called 21.2 as well. That's a good lap for him. BX to the line now. 20.9 up for 4. And we start with NWR followed by Aura for FGR. And both of these two, Miu and Mumu, as we've been calling him recently, and Aura, both getting in each other's way. And 20.6, he's still quicker, regardless of Aura being in the way. Aura's got to find 3/10 of a second here in the Beetle, as he is not having a good time with it at the moment. 20.9, same as Lewis has done, and he's having a bit of a mare out of the third corner there, out of corner number 3 here at Laguna Seca, and 20.978, not that far off of Aura, and Jensen has put himself into provisional pole in the Suzuki Swift because reasons. And we saw, I think it was Mumu around, not sure where he was, but he was off track somewhere there. He pulled himself back into the pits as a result. Right now, NWR flying out of the traps, or getting a little bit sideways out of turn number 5. Prime call 21.1, another place improvement for him. We continue on. In this one. Make sure I've put in the right yep, there 2 different links. Over to the line now. Let's see what he's going to be able to do in qualifying here. No, still about 2 minutes left of qualifying, so we'll get 1 more, maybe 2 more after this. Look in Esports chat. Will do, Jack. Okay, that would probably do it. Give me 1 second. We'll link that in for you now, Jack. Done that for you, Jack. You should be able to get people seeing that now. Yeah, Lewis and Zika, look at that. Both of them separated by 1,000th of a second for 5th place right now. Don't forget, it is the top 15 out of all 3 qualifying sessions. So, regardless of your time, if someone else in a different lobby has beaten you out, then you will drop down. If you're not in the top 15, you'll drop out of this lobby altogether. Ahmed up in the 4th. Good luck for him. Up into the 20.7s. Aura coming round to the end of the lap here. There's a 20.9 for Ate, puts him in 6th. Aura, is he going to be able to improve on what he's currently done? Only 5th best so far. It's 4th best now. Right now, it's not star-studded for Aura as he does a 20.6. BX, however, in the wall now. 20.3, but he's beaten out by Jensen, who's done a 20.2. We have 30 seconds left on the clock, so BX's qualifying is over. Jensen will beat him out. The real question is anyone going to beat Jensen out? Mumu to the line. Doesn't beat either of them, but puts a bigger stranglehold on 3rd. Ahmed got a penalty. I don't think he's getting round quick enough to realistically affect it at all. It would also affect his next lap, so that's the end of his qualifying session. To the line, we are now over the 10-minute timer. Sindra 20.9, good enough for 9th at the moment. Who's next to the line? It's Ahmed, then it's Ate. So we'll go with Ate then. Currently in 6th, a 10th and a half off the back of Ahmed. About half a 10th quicker than Lewis. As we head to the line, is there an improvement in sight? There is not. That is a quarter 10th down. Go Zico. There's 2 more people over the line coming up. Harlex 21.1. I think that is it's Aura after that. Aura 20.4. Not good enough for the top 3. Zico 20.8. Good enough for 6 at the moment. Vigo, good enough for 6 now. Jensen, not improving. Who's still left to the line then? Who's next? Here comes X90G, no improvement there. Trying to figure out Mumu 20.3, and then I think it's Lewis that leads us off, or is it BX? Trying to figure out who'd get into the line now. There you go, it's Lewis, 20.6, and it's good enough for 5th. There you go, mixed to start. Definitely a mixed start. Jensen from BX, from Mumu on the top 3. So 2 for NWR. In the top 3, 3 in the top 5 from Lobby A. We'll see if anyone else has beaten out those times, but it's very likely that's how we start in the top 5. BX for Project Platypus. Good enough time for 2nd. Aura splitting Mumu and Lewis for 4th. FGR's highest driver. Ahmed for 2 Aura Kingdom in 6th. Vigo for FGR in 7th. Zico in 8th. Fate in 9th. Syndra in 10th. Harlex in 11th. Prime Cold 12th. Keto in 13th. X90G in 14th. And Mortal rears the grid, so Mortal might be in trouble here. Mortal might be in a lot of trouble here. You got over the line, you got a couple minutes to wait because people went into the pits. Now we've got people starting to figure it out now then. As we go towards the end of the first qualifying session of the season, BX will now do the lighter standings so we can get ourselves into the first actual, well, we get who gets into the top 15 for the first time. Very interesting. Yeah, it is a Super 97 for Lewis. I was right when I said that earlier on. So for NWR, it's a Suzuki VGT and M311 and a Super 97 for them so far in this season. 3 of their 8 drivers, and they'll be locked into that car from here on out. Same for BX, who is in a 458, GTR 18 for Zico, and then a Merc 20 for Mortal, who might actually, who's going to be in a major problem in trying to stay in this lobby, in this particular session. I think he might have to be content with dropping down to lobby B or lobby C here. And lobby C that's got the stream. Lobby B will be on its own. Until we find a third comms for it. But then we've got what? Aero GT 12, 13, 14 there. Merc 20 for Prime Call, McLaren for Keto, Renault for X90G, F-Type, and 2 Ferraris for 2 Oil Kingdoms, and then the Beetle for Aura, 18 Nismo for Vigo, and an RCZ for Ate. So only one of the teams have elected to use two drivers with the same car through week 1 in Lobby A. A fairly interesting scenario to develop, bear in mind that people will have a lot of different drivers driving for them over the next 6 weeks in particular. Next 6 weeks before we split into a top 5. We'll see what is going on here then. Kerplero said he's 360'd into the pits. Let's hope that doesn't happen again. That sounds about... sounds like he's having a great time through qualifying, to be honest with you. Alright. Here we have a list. We have Suzuki Swift on pole, eh? Don't actually know what the actual rest of the times are at the moment. Let's have a look. We actually have a stream. So let's see what the times are looking at from the second stream here then. So the second stream, Jack's already come off. I guess he's already sent his times to BX, I hope. Or someone has sent the times to BX, I'm hoping. Otherwise this becomes a bit of a problem. Alright, let's see what is going on. Apologies for people who haven't watched this before. Basically what is happening right now is we are currently waiting for a couple of things to happen. BX is getting, hopefully got screenshots from each of the groups on each of the lobbies we've had so far. We'll take the top 15 and we'll place them in the lobby here you have in front of us. Just taking the screenshots just for the sake of taking them, just in case BX is to need them. Don't think he will, but it's nice to have them just in case. Not quite seen, we've not seen anything for BX other yet. I've had a message from Lord Hands, so let's have a look at what happened in Lobby C then. Oh, we've got a very interesting, so top 10 kind of time here then. P1R, the Dark Knight, 20.9. That almost certainly going to be good enough for Lobby A's appearance here for on his debut. That could be very interesting then from P1R. Getting themselves involved early and involved quickly. They got a 20.965 from Cameron Kaboom in the McLaren. Not entirely sure who livery that is. I think that might be Liberating Cabin, but I'm not entirely sure. 21-0. And I'm going to say this now, that everyone from 11th down is in trouble. In a lot of trouble. There's 3 people from just Lobby C that is able to drop them out, so we know for a fact that'll get rid of X90G, Keto, and Mortal then. We aren't aware whether or not there is anyone from Lobby from Lobby B that would also pose the same kind of threat. Once I get a confirmation, I'll let you guys know. Everyone reacting to the Suzuki Swift comment made in chat by Jensen. There we go, we finally have a confirmation then. Let's see who is in what lobby. So, in Lobby A, in which I'm going to actually end this now, so it's not necessary for this to stay. I'll let people in and out of the lobby. Probably a good idea. The race on. Put custom weather on, because it's not necessary any further. That's set by host. Not that I'm going to be able to, because somebody is joining or leaving, or both. Yes, I'm aware I could have just done this about 30 seconds ago and been completely fine. But yes. So, we've got Jensen from BX, from Mumu, on your top 3, Aura, Lewis, and Ahmed, 4, 5, and 6. And you got Vigo 7, Zico 8, Panic Potato for Apex in 9th. A very nice one there. Dark Knight from P1R in 10th, so a couple of people appearing from other lobbies in this one. Attingren in 11th, Big Boy in 12th, which I believe was Cameron's, as I was just saying, and then Syndra in 13th, and Alessandro for ITM appearing in 14th here. 14 in each lobby. Here we go. I'm able to switch my stuff up. That way I can actually put people as they should be. Couple of very surprising people in the lobby. Couple of teams ready to put themselves on the map at the very least. P1R in particular. Got the one in the top 10. Apex, who has not usually been much of a threat most seasons that they've been here, looking to become a threat now. They have one guy in here. They may be able to make something of it. Looking forward to seeing if they will. Apex is one of those where we hope they burst onto the scene at some point. They've been waiting for it for a long time. They have had the better of their Pegasus counterparts of recent, however. We'll see how everything is going to go. I just need a couple of teams to... Let's see if I can actually do this properly this time. There we go, we're all entered, so I can enter the grid order as it was when I read it out not that long ago. Jensen in first, BX in second, Mumu in third, then you've got Aura in fourth, Lewis in fifth, Ahmed follows them in sixth. And after Ahmed in sixth, you've got Vigo in seventh. Then it's Zico after that in 8th. After that in 9th is Panic Potato. And then after that, Al Clark, or the Dark Knight, looking in 10th, looking to get a good start there. And then it's Ate in 11th. Cameron in 12th. Sindra in 13th. Alessandro rearing the grid. And everyone lined up. We have a starting soon. Ready to go then. So, the new teams in this lobby then. ITM, new to the scene this season in ALR Esports. A lot of familiar names you will have seen a lot of when they were RX drivers in particular, but RX effectively disbanded after last season. And, well, the GT side at the very least did. And ITM, well, essentially emerged in its place. And then you've got Liv's Racing Cabin, headed by Bada Big, who was on Project Platypus last season, not anymore. And you got P1R, who are new, were reserved last season, new to the league in terms of racing, however. And then you've got Apex, who have been here a very long time, but finally have someone in the top 10 in Lobby A for the first time. I believe that's the first time in qualifying, anyway. That being said, got a starting soon. Got one last check of the settings, which seem to be correct. So we can get going. For 56 laps of Laguna Seca. Let's see what that 56 laps is going to throw up this time. 14 people in the lobby. Lobby A looking to put up the most points. Can you get yourself off to a good start this season? Can you put your team in contention for that top 5 spot at the end of week 6? It would be a great way to start as we go 4, 5 red lights. And at Laguna Seca it's 5 lights, and here we go. Away we go down toward turn 1. Not a great start in the slightest by Jensen, and he's already been jumped off the start by the Ferrari and BX as Project Platypus take the lead into turn 1. Nice little inside line from the Ferrari. It's going to be nice taken into turn 2, and out of turn 2 he has a definitive lead. Jensen now has to fight back. We've got a couple of fights in the mid pack as well. 2x2s in the middle. I think that's Moo being one of them. Also, Lewis ahead of Ahmed in 6th, Vigo in 7th, Bate in 8th, off of a great start for him as he started 12th, and now looks to try and get himself a little bit higher. Drops down to 9th, however, Zico on the inside will take that one nicely. We'll look for replays if we can find something that we miss. It doesn't look great there for Cameron, who is already off the track to start with, and that'll allow for Sindra to go up the inside. They're still side by side, and they hit the corkscrew for the first time, and Cameron is deep again, and Alessandro will go around as well, and he drops to the back. Panic Potato looking side by side with, I think, that might have been Zico, I think. Let's see if that gives us enough of a view. Look side by side there, Zico and Panic Potato. Panic Potato, just a little bit of contact there. As they head out the bottom of the hill, Zico will be unfortunate to be the one that goes off the track there. He's still in 11th nonetheless. Clark is in front of him. Panic Potato in 9th. Bate in 8th. Vigo in 7th. Ahmed in 6th. The front of the group still very much together. Aura's up in the 2nd, moving in 3rd. BX has dropped to 4th. After leading the race after the first couple of corners. So he's got to find his way back again. It'll be too long ago though what happened to him. So we're not going to be able to see, unfortunately, what happened to BX. Oh, Lewis had a bit of a snap there. I think he might get away with it. He will get away with it. It'll just mean that BX will get a little bit of a gap. Looks like he's just about gonna, well, be able to hold on. BX has got himself a decent bit of a gap now. We've got a little bit of a problem. Someone's off the track. I think someone was off the track there. Again, the corkscrew proving a little bit difficult Oh, it's Ate that just went a little bit wide. He only loses one. Looks like Clark may have been able to get him. No, he actually didn't. So Clark heads on. We continue on here then. You know, through with the replays. Apologies for a little bit left at the end there. Jensen still ahead of Oro, ahead of Mumu, and then BX at the front four. Lewis is fifth, Ahmed in sixth, and no change at the front six so far. Vigo a little bit veering out there, still in seventh with Panic Potato up into eighth now then with Ate making the mistake at the corkscrew. Gaining a position on his start place, he'll take that. Apex would be loving this. Getting the top 8 in Lobby A would be valuable points for them to start off with in this season. If he can get any sort of help whatsoever from his teammates down the line, but he's holding his own for now. Ate in 9th, Clark in 10th, Tico in 11th. We've got side-by-side fighting here from Sindra and Alessandro. Alessandra's got the inside line. Alessandro's got a nice move there with the up into 12th. ITM looking to get on the board properly in their first ALR race. Take that off the screen while we got it. Still logged in, nobody really dropping off the pace so far. And everyone in this entire lobby separated by about 9 seconds. Cameron getting a little bit slidey on the exit of the final corner there. Once again, everyone's still within 10 seconds out of the first 4 laps of this race. Lobby A very, very close together, close-knit at this point in time. Continue on as we go. We're only on lap 4 of 56. The strategies are going to be fairly interesting. Come the end of the race. Lost my train of thought a little bit there. But yeah, come the end of the race, he'll definitely see what the strategies are going to be made of. Not a lot of tyre wear on the cars so far. Not a lot of tyre wear on the cars at all. A little bit on the, the car that looks like Lewis has got a far better rear tyre than the rest of the field at the moment, however. Ahmed half-second penalty. He'll lose out to Vigo here, maybe even Panic Potato. Ate dropping a little bit further off, and Clark. Oh, someone's off! Someone's off! Who was it? We're going to get ourselves a second look at that. Who is off the track? Oh, it's BX! It's BX is off the track! Just slid it too deep! Alright, not good news for BX. He drops all the way to the back of the field. Gets it all sorts of wrong. And anything the Project Platypus were building, looking to take on from the end of last season, has just fallen by the wayside a little bit now. Him and Zico got into the first, into the higher lobby. BX was in the first 4, but he isn't anymore, and now NWR absolutely in control of this first race. 1, 3, and 4 so far. FGR of 2, 5, and 8. Those are the two that we realistically would expect to be fighting tooth and nail for a title again. As they were last season for a long period of time. FGR kind of ran away with it at the end, but I don't think they'll get it so easy this time. Right now, it is definitely going the opposite direction. Well, NWR right now in absolute control. Continue on. Horror is getting a real good shout here. Jensen, 3/10 of a second split these two. Mumu got himself back within that second gap. Then my Mumu last GT Esports event in terms of the actual GT Esports. And I think he got a third on the podium there. It was a nice little thing to see as we watched on. But yeah, currently in that spot again. Albeit he is in the M3, so I'm not sure he's driving what he would normally be driving. Ahmed ahead of Panic Potato, is now up in the 7th, which impacts all. The more this happens, oh, and Ahmed's off the track this time! And so is Ate as well. They're both off into the gravel, and Panic has got another place. Apex is just looking at this, and they're going, well, yeah, everyone can keep killing each other and keep killing themselves. We'll just sit there and take every opportunity we get. Panic is up another place. Also, Clark really giving it a good shot here as well. P1R, sorry. Look to get themselves off to a good start. Crazy to say that I think Apex may have got off to a better start through the 6th lap than Project Platypus have, which is not something we've been able to say through the 7 seasons they've both been in this league. No, it's a long way to go, however. That is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying this early on into this race. Alessandro up into 11th. Then you got Syndra and BX has already gained 1 place back. And he might be able to go after Syndra to see if he can recover a couple. He is probably happy he made that mistake very early on into the race and not about 10 laps later than where he was, because it would have been very difficult for him to come back from. He is going to make his way back now. We go forward. I think Aura may have had a bit of an issue as well. Moving up into 2nd now. Let's see if we can see how that happened. Aura looking further forward. Again, just deep. Another driver that's just cutting all the way across the sand. In turn, dropping all the way down. Well, not all the way down. He'd only dropped a place, but it's now under threat from a couple of cars behind. Vigo, it's his teammate, so he might be able to get a little bit of help, however. The more that happens out front, however, the more this will help Panic, and I cannot believe that's a sentence I've been saying so far. Dark Knight up into... Oh, Ahmed's had a bit of an issue. Ahmed's had a lot of an issue. Ahmed down into 12th, but probably a bit too far back from where we can see it. And I'm not entirely sure what's happened to Ahmed there. He's down into 12th now then. It's not a great start for Two Oil Kingdoms, and the Ferraris are not having a great start in general. 11th, 12th, 13th with BX in one as well. A great long start here for the Minnows. And still a very good start as well for NWR, who have an even tighter stranglehold on this first race now. Let's see. 1.4 for Jensen, and 1.7, 1.8 now between Mumu and Aura. FGR, they're going to have to start putting a little bit of a fight towards them. Panic Potato's really tethered himself to the back of this group. Let's see if there's going to be anything in this. 1.2 seconds now for Panic and on the back of Vigo. Clark still a second ahead of Zico, or was for a split second. And actually he has managed to stay a second ahead. It looked like he went a little bit deep, but managed to recover it. The X 3.2 off the back of Alessandro. See how quick that takes him to catch up. But he got past Syndra fairly quickly. Ahmed right at the back now has had another mistake. 29 on both of his last 2 laps. He is all over the place. It is not a good start for him in the slightest here. BX is catching up about 0.3 of a second a sector at the moment, just trying to catch up to that top 10, get himself into a fighting pack at the very least. Currently a 4-car fighting pack here, from 7th through 10th, back end of the top 10. A little bit of a gap, and then a fighting group here. Lewis and Vigo side by side. Lewis holding on for now. Vigo's going to give him a run for his money. Are we going to be able to see any sort of overtake here? Vigo looking to the outside now. Lewis defending the inside. It'll take something special if he's going to go for this. Switch back. There's nothing there. Well defended from Lewis in the 97 Supra just to get himself, well, hold himself in 4th place for now. That has cut him off from Aura. Which means Vigo has given his teammate a little bit of breathing room now. Aura can reset just that little bit. He needs to because he's lost sight of the front two. Panic still 1.2 off the back of him there, and nothing really changing out in the middle of the pack at the bottom, at the back of the top 10 rather. Alessandro is really going after Ate. He's got himself a run. Can he get himself a move? He got enough alongside to try it. He got himself a little bit of contact with the FGR driver, but he's still through nonetheless. He gets himself ahead of Ate there, and Alessandro's up in the 9th. Nice little work. A nice little piece of work there from the ITM driver on their debut. And we have all of a sudden got 6th, 7th and 9th for teams that are either new to the league or not really where they usually are. I think that would be perfectly fine for those guys. I don't think they realistically know too much. Well, they expected too much in the first place. They definitely will with how it's gone on. Ate's on the grass, on the gravel again. The sand kicking up now for real. And BX is well and truly caught up to the back of them. We know BX has been toward the front the entire time. He had the mistake. He got himself into a little bit of trouble there at the back, but he got up to the back of the top 10 now as he looks to really put something on the board for Project Platypus here. There you go, BX just on the back now, with a little bit of slide on the exit, but he has got the low line. Not anything that Ate will be worried too much about right now though. They go down toward the final corner. We'll look forward in a split second. BX has got a nice run, maybe to looks to the inside now. He is definitely alongside. A better exit, he could get the move, but he won't get the better exit. It's a nice little bit of defending there from Ate, who holds on against BX for now. Is allowing Alessandro to break away just a little bit. BX looking to the outside again. Ate doing enough to hold him back. Again, Alessandro continues to break away. Alessandro absolutely adoring the fact that this is happening. Ate is off the track entirely. And BX is getting the move done now. And BX is back into the top 10. Alessandro next up on the list. It looks like Clark has caught up to Panic Potato rather drastically in the last lap or so. Panic Potato's tired a lot worse than that on Clark's car. The M6 that could at the moment is 6th. Vigo dropped off the back of Lewis again. And he has given Aura more than enough of a gap to realistically try anything that he wants to here. That's on the front two. They still drive off relatively unchallenged. About 1.5 seconds split them and Aura. Let's see, so we got Lewis 1.9 in front of Vigo now. Panic Potato is slowly catching back up to Vigo, so Vigo must have made a mistake somewhere. He's also going to drag Clark along for the ride here, I think. This could get very interesting very quickly. If Clark can put in a lap here, a good lap or two, because he's 2.5 seconds ahead of Zico. There with Alessandro 1.6 back, and then BX an extra 1.1 off the back of Alessandro. Ate dropping off the back entirely. No one in the back of the field really fighting at the moment, so we'll go back to the group in the middle. Well, on lap 13 of 56 now. And Potato got within it. We've got 1.1 now. Another 3/10 gained on this lap. Vigo is struggling now. And Potato is doing a very good job of keeping him at, well, keeping him where he should. Being just dragging him maybe a tenth or two extra. He might actually have a run at this. Either that or the Dark Knight behind him is going to have a go sooner rather than later, so he's got to force the attack before he gets attacked himself. Vigo just looked a little bit superior at the end of that second final sector, and then again in the first sector here. It's 1.4, but we now know we're now moving into Panic Potato domain. In the second sector has been where he gained the entire night. Will he gain again? Kicks up a little bit more dirt. It doesn't look like he's gaining either side of him. It looked like he's lost to one, lost to both actually. Dark Knight now within 7/10 for what I think is the first time. Definitely the closest fight we currently have on track. Vigo is just starting to drift away from them a little bit. Alessandro with Zico as well. Actually fairly close. 7/10 of a second now for Zico and Alessandro. Alessandro looks to try and take 8th. That is... Oh, BX has spun again! Can we see where he spun? Oh no, he pit. He pit. Okay, so BX has pit. First one of the night. I find it funny that they just don't die on the side of the car. He has died once. He's pit now as well, so he's the first one into the pits tonight. Don't forget, now Ahmed's going to follow. Ahmed's going to come in now. For everyone that's watching, here comes Sindra and Ate. Yeah, I was about to say, I genuinely thought he'd span. I'm not going to lie to you. That's why the replays are important, though. Look at Sindra on the inside. I don't know what he tried. I think he must have thought he him, because that looked like it was going to be perfect for a split second then. Decided against it. Ate and Sindra, they definitely haven't pit. Ate's having a bit of a struggle now. 7 seconds off the back of Alessandro. And you got Sindra there in behind, looking to try and gain a position or two. Ahmed into the pits. Cameron, I don't think has pitted either. 130 on the last lap, however, it's not particularly good news. Ate and Sindra, nope, nothing going. Oh, I think there may have been a little bit of contact there. We'll go have another look at that. In the hill. I had to take a look at this up the hill. Was there anything in this? No, Ate just got it wrong. Oh, they both got it wrong. It just looked like that. Crazy speed down the bottom of the hill. Zico and Aura now into the pits. We'll see Alessandro in as well. So 3 more in for their pit stops. Cameron stayed out. The X and Ahmed have obviously pit not that long ago. Ate still ahead of Sindra right now. Panic has got right up to the back of Vigo, by the way. Right up to the back of Vigo. So 8/10 of a second splits 4th, 5th and 6th. And they continue on. It's 1, 2, 3 currently for NWR. We're very much looking to put an end to everything that's, well, to end the potential triple here for SGR. In comes Lewis into the pits then. See if people will oblige into the pits as well. Panic Potato and the Dark Knight have both gone in. Vigo on the soft stays out. Mumu on the soft, and Jensen with a half-second penalty at the front on the soft. They are both out, still out as well. Mumu 2 seconds off the back of his teammate. Ate's in the pits as well. Sindra stays out. He started on the medium tyres, so not an awful lot going to change at the moment there. Sindra will be able to do softs. Maybe a couple of stints of soft to the end, potentially. Given the fact that everyone's doing 16 laps at the moment, 16, 17 laps, not really being phased by fuel and or tyres. 56% for Lewis as he comes back out on what is another set of softs. There's Aura right there. They head towards turn 1. They're going to come out relatively close to each other now. Lewis on the exit of the pit lane is behind Aura. Not by an awful lot, but he is behind him. Aura, who put in less, well, has actually been out a lap longer, so he might put in a little bit more fuel. Has come out 1.4 seconds ahead of Lewis. Panic Potato has been jumped by Clark here, so Clark's putting a little less in the attempt to try and jump the Apex driver, and they both have beaten BX out, and Zico's actually been overtaken by BX now. Alessandro 3 seconds off the back here on a set of softs, and now the strategies are going to play a part. Is there anybody else on a medium tyre outside of Syndra right now? Cameron's on a medium tyre right now, but he's about to pit, so he started on the mediums. Syndra started on the mediums. Not great starts for either one of them, admittedly. The strategy might be able to bring them back into this. It doesn't look like any of the other three have set to pit yet. Jensen, Mumu, Vego, all three have stayed out for now. Looks like they're going to try and bleed the tank all the way empty. Let's see, down into the corkscrew, still 1.4 seconds, split the lead. Vigo 10 seconds off the back of that, the problem. He is not having too much fun trying to catch the lead. Definitely hasn't been 10 seconds all day. Wonder if he's had any sort of issues in this one. Lewis still ahead of the Dark Knight, 5 seconds split those guys. Panic Potato still on the back of the P1R driver who's got in front over strategy at the moment. Vigo is out of fuel but into the pits. Mumu and Jensen go one more. There's either some excellent fuel saving and those cars have a really good fuel tank. I'm not sure which one it is. Syndra off the medium tyre now. He's done his stint. If he goes on to softs next, he'll have done his 2 compounds, so he'll have free reign for the rest of the race. Cameron has fuel left, so a little bit better positioning than Syndra in the fuel department. Not realistically when it comes to being on track, however. Laura coming through should be out in third rather comfortably. 2 seconds ahead of Lewis now. Not too much difference in terms of the fuel between the two of them. Still 0.7 of a second between Dark Knight and Panic Potato. It actually has worked to get a little bit of a gap ahead of BX. We've got Zico in his rear view mirror. They look like Project Platypus could potentially start working together here. One team that won't be working together is ITM with FGR. Here comes Alessandro. Can he get Vigo at all? Vigo's going to be adjusting the new tyres. Jensen and Mumu are now into the pits. Nora, well actually that'll be the last 2 to come in. Vigo still under fire here, under heavy fire from Alessandro. One good corner here could put Alessandro in a position to make an overtake. He's maybe looked a little bit too early there. And he's lost a little bit of ground. As we head up the hill, yeah, I don't think you should have looked into that corner. I think you should have just stayed to the line. Potentially could have taken the hill with a good exit. Hasn't done either. And stayed about half second back. That should allow Vigo to start moving forward and look behind him. Alessandro should get a lot of slipstream, however, down towards turn 1. This could be very interesting. You see the cars in front just starting to put in a little, well, just starting to come out. Medium tyres, 100% fuel for Jensen and for Mumu as well. Potential one-stop incoming for them then. Vigo and Alessandro still fighting it out. Alessandro didn't really gain much of anything. And while they fight into turn 3, you've got Mumu, who's actually jumped Jensen for the lead of the race. Okay, so the lead of the race has changed. Mumu, with the net lead anyway, is genuinely, well, net P1. We'll see what the 2 stops can do for the 1 stop potentially then. Panic Potato still behind the Dark Knight, who's still 5 seconds off the back of Lewis, who has dropped quite heavily off the back of Aura, who is now 3.3 in the lead of this race, which is exactly where Aura wants to be. In the position where he can now just drive away. Hasn't really had that opportunity in this race so far, but he has been presented with a glorious opportunity to just hammer in some lap times now. It looks like he's already starting to do it. 20.7 on the last lap, 21.1 there. Potentially needs to be a little bit quicker than that. Panic Potato and Dark Knight 21.4 and 21.3 respectively on the last lap. BX still 1 second off the back of them, so needs to find a little bit of space. Zico 1.5 back off that. The Mumu and Jensen, medium tire. There you go, Vigo and Alessandro! Alessandro on the inside! Alessandro is past the FGR driver. And that has been coming, that has been in the pipeline for a couple of laps now. Vigo had an opportunity to drive away, just never really got going on the second set of softs, and now finds himself in a fairly difficult position. Look at that. So Vigo's got to find a way back past Alessandro and then past both the NWR guys on a one-stop in front of them. We are down into the corkscrew on lap 21. Alessandro still has an advantage. These two are fighting their hearts out at the moment. 0.2 of a second split the both of them. And Jensen might be the one that gets involved here in this fight. That causes everything to be split up. Alessandro might even go for Jensen into turn 1. Alessandro's got it wrong. Alessandro got that very wrong. Vigo had an opportunity to fight it straight back, and Alessandro outbroke himself for what might have been actually the first time of the night, and is gonna pay for it. Vigo on his inside. Vigo's gonna have this one, surely. Yep, Vigo's gonna take it straight back. So one error, one lapse in concentration for Alessandro. And the work he just put in for 3 or 4 laps has been undone on the spot. Rather unfortunate situation there for Alessandro, but again, you make a mistake at this level of competition, you're gonna pay for it. The good news for him is that Jensen is actually keeping, well, realistically, is keeping Vigo in the fight with Alessandro here, because Jensen really isn't going anywhere anytime soon. I'll be very interested to see Vigo and or Alessandro attempt to overtake the Suzuki Swift here. Haven't really been able to do it so far. What we got out fighting further forward, Panic Potato is now really under fire from BX. Dark Knight has got a little bit of a breathing space now. Aura is actually losing his gap at the front as well to Lewis the last couple of laps. Lewis has started to put in the laps that what Aura has been doing about 3 or 4 laps prior. Aura's lap 19, 20.7, 22, lap 22 for Lewis, 20.8. So comparatively about 3 laps behind where Aura was. And that lap time is coming down now. Jensen has been overtaken by Vigo. Jensen has been overtaken by Vigo, so this is going to be very interesting. Now, Vigo has the chance to get away. Alessandro needs to make the move. Alessandro needs to make the move. He needs to make it now. He's going for it now, and Jensen didn't even fight it. Alessandro gets him, and now he's got to go after Vigo yet again. Vigo has now jumped out the second. Jensen may be able to help Alessandro into that second gap again. And then things will, well, Jensen will be in a good spot. But now it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Alessandro just starting to pull away. And Vigo is right on the back of Mumu, who we know is in net P1 of the race for now. We're going to have a 2-wheel stop versus the 1-stop potentially come the end of this one. We've seen this kind of story before in ALR Esports races. We've seen this plenty of times before. It never usually works out well for the one-stoppers. We'll see if it will this time. About 20 seconds currently the gap. They see the lead, 17 actually, to net P1 and Mumu. 1.8 now split Zora and Lewis. So Lewis is really putting the hammer down. BX has got past Panic Potato as well. Half-second splits the two of them now. BX! Oh, BX is round! He is round this time! He is round! Second spin of the night! He has 360, so he's not going to lose too much time. But you can see Mumu across the horizon. And Project Platypus, just as things started going right again, unfolds in front of your eyes. That is two massive spins so far today for BX, and quite frankly, that mistake for BX, those two mistakes for BX today may actually have cost him the race win. Completely, genuinely serious. He has been in tow the entire time. He's been in qualifying. He was second at the beginning of the race. He actually took the lead. He had a control of it, and then spinning right there, the spinning earlier on as well, he dropped to 14th. He had done well to recover, and all that been done and undone straight away. New rule, plus 15 to BX for his wing, or 15 to his front wing every race. He may need it to keep himself on track. And now the massive hope lies with Zico again. BX is 4 seconds off the back of him, even after the 360. He is very much in the same boat as Vigo and Alessandro now, which is not a good place to be when you look at the way their race has gone. But again, if you're in the situation of Panic Potato or the Dark Knight, you're coming into this. You're 9th and 10th. In the case of P1R, we don't really know what to expect. But in the case of Apex, we've seen them before. We've seen them every season. They're always in the thick of it in Lobby B and Lobby C. Never usually doing too well in Lobby A, but Panic Potato is putting on a show. And so is the Dark Knight as well, to be completely honest with you. They are in a very good position. Everyone around them keeps spinning it out or taking each other out, and they're just capitalizing on everything. One mistake for Lewis on off for Aura, and there may be a podium in sight. Which is a ludicrous thing that I definitely would not have said, or thought I was going to say at the beginning of this race. The Dark Knight has definitely got himself a far better position than what Panic is currently in, however. 3 seconds the gap between 3rd and 4th. We'll see, Lewis is there, 1.99 Aura, so Aura's managed to stabilise this gap a little bit now. Much needed stabilisation of the gap, 21. He actually opened it back up by about 0.2 of a second on that last lap. Dark Knight, however, probably cutting it in by about 0.6. Zico back toward 30.3 off the back of Panic Potato, so something happened at the end of that lap that kind of pushed Zico back a little bit. The X 2.2 off the back of Zico now, instead of the 4 seconds he was just a lap ago. Mumu is still ahead of Vigo, still ahead of Alessandro. Nothing really changed between these three. Mumu has done a solid job of not being overtaken by the soft tyre runners. Jensen, a little bit off the pace at the moment. Sindra ahead of Ahmed, Ati behind that, and then Cameron at the rear of the field. I think his race has really got going here, Cameron, to be honest with you. Which is interesting. Looking further forward, have we got any fights? We do. We got Vigo and Mumu up the hill. Can they do? Well, can Vigo finally break free of the NWR grip? BX is right there and there again. Zico's also had a relatively poor lap compared to BX, who's cut it down to 1.8, and everyone is just starting to close back in again. 19 seconds, splits Mumu and Aura at the lead. Pretty sure that the pit stop is going to be slightly longer than that, so we're going to have Aura fighting back later on, but for now we got Vigo looking to the outside of turn 1 and then the inside of turn 2, and it didn't come off either time. And Alessandro is going to be loving the fact that these two are fighting. The more these two fight, the more chance he's got of getting back into it. He has just dropped outside the second, so he's going to have to find a way back into this triple threat if we can make it a triple threat. Vigo again, the outside, now switching back to the inside. Mumu just doing enough to defend again. Vigo's just slowly but surely losing the timing. Coming off, Alessandro towards 1.1. It's now 0.8 of a second. As we head up the hill, up toward the corkscrew, there are going to be any sort of move being made. No, there isn't. And it's going to involve Alessandro cutting that gap down another 0.2 of a second. And Alessandro is firmly in this fight now. Alessandro knows that the fight with Vigo is for position. BX is into the pits. This is BX's second pit stop now then. Same amount of pits that he has had spins. Mumu with Vigo right on the back of him again. Vigo not making any sort of move this time. Alessandro needs to find some pace in the third sector because he is dropping off rather rapidly in the space of 2 or 3 corners after the corkscrew. If he can find himself a little bit of pace in that third sector, keep himself from the back of these two, Vigo kicking up a lot of dirt, he can maybe just force himself a move later on. Zico is right in front of us here. He is not enjoying this in the slightest. He might be dragged into this fight in a minute. Vigo's right on the back of this M3. He really isn't letting him go. Alessandro not putting up the same sort of fight. Even not really gaining as much as he did prior in the corkscrew, so he needs to find something in the third sector just to keep himself involved with the triple threat. He looked like he had managed to find that extra temp, that extra barrier. He got himself in a good position again. Still within the second. He's actually done well to stay within the second, to be completely honest with you. I thought that was dead to rights. Ahmed into the pits now. BX comfortably in last, and again trip to the dirt. He's avoided the wall, but BX again off the track. Got to get it going on the medium tyres now. Well, I wonder where he comes out in comparison to Ahmed. Vigo dropped Alessandro now. Yeah, the Mumu has not done the same. Vigo 1.4 off the medium tyre driver behind him. You can tell there's the pit stop coming up soon because the tyres are starting to fall away. Panic Potato 3.5 up the road. And the Dark Knight 5 seconds up the road from Panic Potato. These two were right beside each other at the last pit stop. But Clark has done himself a number with the strategy to get in front of Panic Potato, and now the driving in the last stint has got himself very, very clear. And also for the lead of the race. Didn't realise it was that close, but Aura is now only 0.2 of a second up on Lewis. Is there going to be a lead change in the next lap or two? Lewis is going to take a look. Zico is in the pits. Nothing going for Lewis. Well, Aura's kicking up a bit of dirt. There might be something going for him now. A bit of contact between the two. A little bit more contact between the two. He got a nose in now. He's actually well alongside Aura. Aura still has a better exit. That Beetle just having a better exit than the Super 97. Got the inside line up the hill. We'll hold on for now. Lewis is going to try and switch back again. It's not going to work this time, however. Looks to the inside to try and potentially make a move. Maybe spook Aura just a little bit. He might have got it. He might have got the spook he wanted, but Aura managed to keep the foot planted on the gravel. and has got away with it there, but has kept the lead nonetheless. Lewis's tyres are significantly better than the Beetle. Aura having to defend to the inside now again. Lewis trying to kick up a little bit more dirt. Aura's got a better line. Aura dives into the pits. Lewis will stay out. I can imagine Lewis is going to stay out for quite a number of laps longer. Well then, through all that fighting, the Dark Knight gained a second and some change there. 26.6, 24.3. So the Dark Knight just gained a second and some change. Panic Potato into the pits as well. That gap was in the 9-second range. It's now 7.9. They're back up to 8 now that Lewis is not fighting Aura, but that was a little bit promising for a second there for the Dark Knight, looking to try and make some moves. Now Jensen in about 2 seconds off the back of Vigo right now. He's still 7/10 off the back of Mumu, who's realistically done exceptionally well to hold Vigo off. And there's not really been anything in the slightest there for Vigo in this stint. He's been held up, tied up, and made into knots realistically by this NWR. Just, well, Duo's absolutely in control of the situation. Don't forget, there are 2 stops here. Aura has come out the 2 stops. He's now moved on to the medium tyres. Same with Panic Potato, with 2 seconds ahead of Zico. Both of them on medium tyres now as well. They're both going to go to the end. The X-Further's 4 seconds off the back of Zico after his mistakes earlier on in this race have punished him severely. Ahmed 10 seconds at the back of the grid. So, 40.5 off the lead. Mumu and Jensen is 20, so 25 seconds in about as many laps. He is not going to be a second quicker every lap for the rest of the race. It's just not going to happen. I think the one stop has done a fantastic job here, especially if the tyres are going to last. If the tyres are going to last, then they're in a very good position. If the tyres don't last, they might be in a little bit of trouble. .7 to the lead. The Dark Knight is about to come out the pits. Panic Potato next one up the line. Aura is about to come out of turn 1 and turn 2, so he will get beat out by Aura. Cameron's there as well. The Dark Knight with Panic Potato significantly behind. The Dark Knight going to launch himself around turn 1 at a very slow pace, the pit lane, and get himself out onto the lap again, and it's 7.8 seconds ahead of Panic Potato. And the more the Dark Knight races, the more it is just impressive. It's look at that. When everyone pits, he's going to be right behind Aura again. Aura's going to be in 4th or 5th, but like, this is going to be the Dark Knight has put on a show driving in from the middle of the pack. Don't forget, Mumu and Jensen probably don't have to pit again. They're going to go to the end. Vigo and Lewis do. So do Sindra and Alessandro and Ate, who has actually just dove into the pits here, so got an accurate situation where he is. This has been a very honestly, it is very, very... It's a debut here for P1R. They were reserved last season. Never got the chance to race. Every single time we had a reserve, they had something come up. And we were already aware that their first 5 weeks had commitments anyway. But they signed up this season, as they were already gave me notice they were going to do. And one of their drivers really got going. First day on the job, got himself on a very good run. And then comes Lewis here now then. Mumu is on track, should easily get out ahead of Lewis right now. Lewis is going to have to put 22 laps worth of fuel in. Vigo is well and truly dropped off the pace, 3.3 seconds off the back. I can assume there may be a pit stop coming for him. There is. Jensen's obviously staying out. So Mumu and Jensen, we both knew, well, we all knew were staying out. They're on their 1 stop. I don't think anyone's going to stop them somehow. genuinely don't. There is a long way to go, however. As long as their tyres last, the one stop clearly the better option. Don't forget, Aura is net P3 here. Sindra stayed out again. Lewis is coming down the line. There's Lewis down toward turn 2 now. Gonna go slow, but he should beat Aura out. He's gonna beat Aura out. He is. He's ahead. And we might have just tuned in to a 1-2-3 to open the season. Lewis has got a nice run there. He's about a second ahead of Aura right now. The tyres are not going to do any difference. This is going to be pure skill now between Lewis and between Aura. To see who sits himself on the bottom step of the podium. Sindra is still out there. Sindra will have to pit sooner rather than later. 21 seconds off the lead. There is no goddamn way that ever comes back. They have to cover a second a lap. Just to get themselves in any sort of range of Mumu here. I don't think they got it. What Mumu did on the last time, 22.5, 22.4 for Jensen. 22.9 for Zindra is pretty good actually, at that point of his stint. Lewis, yeah, proper lap at the end here. He's now 1.3 seconds ahead of Aura. This is going to be 22.8 for Aura. You've got to get a lot. You've got to knock an entire second off that to even try to catch the two out front. Dark Knight very much set himself up here for a top 5 finish, which is absolutely insane. Alessandro overtaken by DX now then, 8 seconds split those two. Show what happened to Alessandro. Most of that 130 in the middle of block 30 is definitely not a good sign. You know, Ahmed and Ate is clear at the back of the grid. They've been rather inconsistent so far today. What is going on? Zico 1.1, 1.2 ahead of EX and 1.5 behind Vigo, who's 1.3 off of Panic Potato at the moment. We've got more fuel, less tyres than the cars behind him. He might come under fire later on. Dark Knight definitely not going to come under fire at any point. Aura 2 points, Aura now 2 seconds off the back of Lewis, I think. Lewis is going to charge his way toward the front. At the moment, not going to matter. The real question now is Jensen going to get anything on his teammate? He was about a 1/10 of a second quick on the last lap. Going to have to be a lot quicker than that to match up with Mumu come the end of it. Let's see if there's going to be anything in the 3.1 now. So Jensen is closing in, couple of tenths of a second a lap. Cameron still got to pit, will be in at the end of the lap. Sindra will probably also do the same. We will see if there's anything really in this for either one of those drivers. Wonder how far back they're going to go. Sindra might go towards about the 10th mark, I reckon. Sindra into the pitch now then, so we'll see how he is going to come out. Questions about to be answered. Laura pulled in half a second on that last lap to Lewis. They're like long way away from anyone out front. That does actually promote the Dark Knight into 5th then. This has been a crazy start for P1R. Honestly, for Apex, it's probably even more of a crazy start. I very much don't think they expected to be in their position. But, unfortunately for them, they also have to go after Vigo. Well, have to protect from Vigo, who's trying to get himself into the top 6 give FGR some sort of solace that they can actually bring a fight to NWR in this season. Don't forget, I'll say it at the top of the stream, I'll say it again, that FGR are going for a triple. They are going to be, or aiming to be rather, the first team in ALR history to go back to back to back. Pretty sure they're the first team to go back to back. And they certainly would be the first team in the history of ALR to do a triple. That is what is on the line, and it has not been a good start. Not compared to NWR anyway. Vigo really needs to get past Panic Potato. Probably also needs to try and get the Dark Knight in all of this as well. There is still a long way to go. 2 in the top 5 would soften the blow a little bit of a 1-2-3 for NWR, that's for certain. Vigo just going a bit deep there. Panic Potato just getting a nice line. About 5 tenths of a second. If he can call this a bay, then he'll be incredibly happy with himself, I reckon. I think Apex will be even happier if he was able to. Then they'll be happy either way. Top 6, top 7. In a Lobby A race is the best race that they'll have had in a very long time. By Vigo, 3 tenths of a second now, right up on the back of him. They head toward the corkscrew. This is really now the opportunity to really go after this for Vigo, to get himself 6th place and set off with about 15 laps to go after the Dark Knight, who's currently sat in the top 5 on debut for P1R. Don't forget, all of this first 6 weeks, all of them setting towards the top 5 split at the end of week 6. Here comes Vigo to the inside. Oh, Panic Potato! Panic Potato has no answer, and it's finally done from Vigo, who gets himself up into the top 6. And is that a much needed move for Vigo in this race. It's not gone well for him at all, realistically, from this one, but he can take some solace with a nice little move there to put himself into the top 6. He has really got to set about this last 16 laps and some change on going after the Dark Knight now. Simply gotta go after him. Can't look backwards anymore. Gotta go forwards. He's gonna have BX come up against Panic Potato shortly. That's about 2.4 seconds splitting them two. Further back, Cameron's at the back of the grid, 4 seconds behind Ate. There is 8 seconds behind Ahmed. Alessandro in 11th, really off the pace of Syndra, as ITM was looking positive for a split second there on the back of Vigo, but what I'm assuming was a mistake from Alessandro, kind of undid that top half potential for Alessandro in this race. Project Platypus not off to a good start either. 8th and 9th is not what they would have expected coming into the day, I can promise you that. And Potato has kept himself on the back of Vigo for now. A mistake for Vigo will give him an opportunity to fight this back. This could get very interesting. Oh, that almost with a little bit too wide there from Vigo. He keeps it together. Chipping up a little bit of dirt again. Oh, Vigo again, sideways. I was talking about Panic Potato maybe holding on for a mistake. He almost got 2 in the space of about 30 seconds there. That is towing a very fine line here, Rodrigo, that's a certain. Don't forget, the champion's in a vulnerable position right now after week 1, after this race, unless there's a mistake in there from one of the front 3. Even then, a mistake from Jensen or from Mumu really won't mean that much. They're still 20 and 19 seconds off the back of each other. Lewis will have to protect himself from Aura though come the end of this race. So Aura's going to look to try and break up that 1-2-3. And for SGR's sake, even if it is week 1, they don't really want NWR on a 1-2-3 to start with if they're going for a title challenge. So breaking up that 1-2-3 would be a very big thing for Aura right now. Vigo had now cleared Panic Potato about 1.4 seconds, so well and truly the idea is to look forward for Vigo now rather than backwards, and we'll see in the next 14 laps if he's got the speed realistically to go after the Dark Knight. Currently sits in the top 5. Oh, that didn't look too good there for Panic. A little bit deep. You don't want to be doing that too often. Especially when BX is the car behind you. We know we've seen a couple of mistakes on BX today, but we know for a fact that BX has the pace around Laguna. Seca could have really punished you if you make a mistake or too many. Syndra's really charging down Alessandro now. Don't forget, Syndra started on the medium tyres, so he'd gone and done the sets of softs afterwards. So he really had a chance to gain a couple of positions here for Royal Kingdoms, who also hasn't started too well in this season. A little bit of solace would be if they can get a position or 2 off of Project Platypus here. Would dent the office of Project Platypus even worse. I don't think Zico's got a lot in the tank here to actually stop him. 0.5 of a second now, split the 2. Closest battle we've got on track. Syndra really is just pushing it down right now. Currently on his fastest lap of the race so far. He is pushing it right onto the back of Zico now. Really giving him something to think about. They're headed to the final corner. This is going to be Syndra's opportunity now. Going to have a massive opportunity up the hill. You can see in front of us, you've got Panic Potato and BX not that far away from each other. But Syndra has a golden opportunity to go after Zico here. Syndra should go to the inside. Zico's going to cover it off. Syndra late on the outside. Going to try and go the long way around on Zico. Maybe get a good exit on the switchback attempt. Doesn't get either. And all of a sudden, with another switchback attempt, he's got himself alongside on the inside line. I think he got him. Or has he? No, he hasn't. Zico's going to flash the light, so we'll take a second look at what happened here. Let's see if we can get a good angle of what has happened between Zico and Syndra. Oh, he did a little bit of contact and he drove a little bit wide on the corner. And here we go again, right back into the fight. This time the long way around on the corkscrew. This would be impressive. He's going to run out of space. I don't know if that's going to be a penalty. If it isn't, he's going to be running that close. It isn't a penalty, so he got away with it. Oh, Zico! And Zico's off the track! Zico is off the track, and we're going to get a second look at that as well. Let's see what happened on board with Zico there. And the day for Project Platypus goes from bad to worse. Kicks up a little bit of dirt. You just couldn't get it recentered. He just could not get the car recentered all the way back into the gravel as well. And lets Alessandro through. And he's down to 11th. Well, it's not been a good day at all. It just gets significantly worse every time you look at it for Project Platypus. Cameron may be able to steal a point away here from FGR. Ate has not had a good day at the office. Cameron may look to not end last. Another team on their debut in ALR here. It's not been a good day in the slightest for Cameron. He can make up with it with an extra point or two if he can get the position here. I mean, if you get into the top 10, if you can get into the top lobby at all on your team's debut, is always a good sign. That is usually a good sign, but in the actual race itself, you've had a couple of teams on their debut that have absolutely shone. That's not the case for Cameron in this one. Just needs to get himself past Ate to put a positive spin on things. We'll see if he can do it. He's got a real close shot now. I think he may be too far back into turn one, and yeah, that is going to be the case here. Even though Ate is on medium tires, Cameron's on softs, it's not really happening at all. Yep, and it just continues on. Cameron not able to do the number on Ate at the moment. We've got BX with Panic Potato. And I think Vigo as well. Vigo's dropped down to 8th. Can we see what happened to Vigo? Or is it too far back? It's too far back to see what happened to Vigo here then. So Vigo's dropped to 8th. Well, that is not a good sign. BX up ahead of Panic Potato, so whilst one of the Project Platypus cars have managed to spin away a couple of places, BX has gained a couple back. And after the couple of mistakes, top 6 couldn't be too bad for him today, admittedly. They're still a long way off the Dark Knight. Top 5 is becoming less and less doable as the laps go by. BX is starting to pull just a little bit of gap on the South African. There's just enough at the moment to really hold off Vigo. Again, Vigo's been liable to that mistake or two so far today. BX has also been. It's not really happened for him at all. He'll take being in 6th nonetheless. Dark Knight's just driving on his own, and quite frankly, I think he's loving the fact that he's driving on his own right now, because there's no one to stop him. No one can end his chance here to get Project 1 Racing onto the top 5 in Lobby A on their debut. TNR boys are in the chat in full support here for Panic Potato. Aura has dropped significantly off the back of Lewis. Any chance of that one developing it out of the top 3 for Lewis has fallen by the wayside. 25.3, probably what did it. The 23.1 hasn't helped at all either. Just giving him an opportunity. Mumu has just driven a very consistent final stint here. One lap outside of the 22.4, 22.5 range in the entire stint so far, so I think he'll take what he's currently doing every day of the week, driving with that consistency in the M3. 22.6 again for Mumu on the last lap. Jensen 22.7, so nothing really changing between the two at the front. Still, Panic Potato right at the back of BX. Clearly not ready to give it up yet. There's the penalty behind for Vigo. There's the penalty behind. It is a half-second penalty for Vigo, which will take him out of the fight here. This triple threat turns into a one-on-one. It'll be BX versus Panic Potato for that 6th place. Vigo's going to have to try and fight off Syndra who is well and truly on the charge on his soft tyres. Zico behind Alessandro after the spin earlier, and Cameron is still behind Ate. Oh, we've got a full list of TNR boys in. We're watching the Apex lad drive an outstanding race so far tonight. Cameron just really has not at all really been able to get past Ate. It's incredible. Soft tyre, the Cameron has just been rooted to last place by the FGR driver. That's not going to help him, of course, at all. A little bit further forward, let's see. Panic Potato definitely cleared Vigo now. Vigo 1.2 seconds ahead of Syndra. That's going to be juicy come the end of this race, because don't forget Syndra's on the soft tyre. Syndra is on the soft tyre. Sorry, they're not going to be slow for a while yet. We'll see if there's going to be anything in this for Panic Potatoes. Just keeping in within a second of the X. The longer this goes, the more you might think that Panic Potato with those rear tyres might be able to have a little bit more control. There's only 6 laps to go. Is he going to be able to steal 6 from BX here? There is going to be at least one opportunity for him. If he can keep the lap times, if he can keep himself within that second, one opportunity will definitely show up. Whether or not he's going to be able to grab that opportunity when it appears, when it makes itself apparent. I think he just lost a little bit of time there. That might be BX's opening to kill the slipstream here. Or is it? It's going to be close. They're going up the hill now. 1 second between the two of them. I think BX may just about get away. Panic's going to need a good set of corners. That was not it. BX gaining about 0.2 of a second in the corkscrew alone. But again, this third sector has been good news for Panic Potato. It's not going to be good news there, however. It kicks up one bit too much dirt, and that might give BX enough of a gap. That might be night-night for that 6th place. We know BX has spun a couple of times, but I don't really think there's enough in there left. BX is someone we are very well familiar with in this league. He is, well, a one-time champion in Tier 1 that we run on a Monday. But I'm pretty sure he's like ended second about 6 times. So he's no stranger to being at the front of these grids. Don't forget he's won 2 titles with Project Platypus so far in Esports. Albeit Project Platypus haven't won anything since Season 3. Season 7 now, and the league is a lot more competitive than it used to be. You can see at the front, we've seen a lot of people grow in this league, and, well, NWR created off the back of the season with, what was Harlex, I believe it was. Not Harlex, what the... Oh, that's going to annoy me. The Ahmed team beforehand, before Two Oil Kingdoms, I will remember the name at some point. But they ran with Ahmed's team for that season. They split off at the end of it. The last season was NWR's first season in the league. And this is their second, and they're starting off the second in a much better way than they ended the first. Absolutely destroyed everyone today. Panic Potato is going to have to defend again from Vigo, I think, here. Unless Vigo is going to get caught by Syndra. Which Syndra could still put that fight to Vigo and give Panic Potato 7th place for certain. It's going to be very difficult otherwise. Cameron's just run out of steam. Had every opportunity to get Ate, realistically. Never really materialised, so he is very much rooted to the back of the field now. There's now 2 seconds there, so Ate's just going to drive away. Vigo, 9/10 of a second ahead of Syndra, 9/10 of a second behind Panic Potato. Now we are now in the three-way here for 7th, and BX is actually well within a second as well, so it's now a four-way for 6th place. It's not out of the realm of possibility with the soft tyres on Syndra's car for Syndra to potentially steal something here. Or will it be Panic Potato who looks to the outside of BX? BX is going to get this. Well, BX had to defend the inside. Panic Potato's got to run now. Is there a good enough exit? Can he defend? Well, can he take the inside down toward turn 1? No, BX will defend again. Panic Potato looks to that outside. Oh, this is not good news because Vigo's going to fall through the hole. But he doesn't do it well enough, and Panic Potato saves himself from dropping a place back whilst trying to attack forward. Vigo again just sliding a little bit out of turn 3, and it'll give Panic Potato license to attack again. Syndra is right on the back. We have a four-way fight for 6th place. It is not out the realm that any one of these 4 people will get this place. I don't think, and for your NWR, the more these people fight, the better it is for you as well. It's all over the place at the moment. BX half a second ahead of Panic, ahead of Vigo by about 3/10 of a second after that. Syndra right on the back of the FGR driver, currently in 8th as well. Oh, and then well, Zico's 360ing it. That's one time to come back and have a look, isn't it? There's Ahmed, who might be able to go by. They're going to be almost side by side, headed into the corkscrew. Ahmed's going to get a run. Zico's going to have bad tyres. And Zico's going to hang on. Somehow hang on. Try to hang on. He hasn't really done it yet. He just about gets away with it. We're going to go back forward. Nothing actually happened between the 4. You didn't miss anything there. 22-4 for BX. 22-8 for Panic Potato. Just starting to unravel just a little bit here. I said there was going to be an opportunity that arises for Panic Potato. I think it did arise. I don't think he took it. He is still in the middle of it though. One good sector here, and there is a gigantic opportunity for 6th. Is there going to be any opportunity to really get that good sector, however? Running out of time. We're about 2.5 laps from the end of this race. With the guys out front, all 3 of them are now on to lap 55. All 4 at the front are now on lap 55. Nothing really happening out front. BX has managed to break the second again to Panic Potato. Now Panic Potato might be under fire, under a little bit of panic from Vigo behind now. We have 2 laps to go. Main overtaking opportunity will be down into turn 1 on the next lap. Now this is going to be Vigo's opportunity now. Maybe not here, but in the middle of the sector, if he could get a good enough run, he'll put Panic Potato under a lot of panic. And that'll open up the door. Enough dirt being kicked up by every car at the moment in the midfield. You can continue on, just even more dirt being kicked up. Syndra's dropped off the back, so Vigo's got nothing to worry about behind him now. Much like I think BX has got himself enough of a distance to stop worrying behind as well. Panic Potato, Vigo sliding his way up the hill. That might buy Panic Potato enough breathing room. If he can get a good final sector here. A good final sector would be enough to put the nail in the coffin. Realistically, if Vigo's attempt to make any moves forward, it hasn't been a good final sector at all from Panic Potato. Vigo has a glorious opportunity out the final corner. 3/10 of a second, 2.5 of a second. It's a really good exit. Is there a good enough opportunity? Panic Potato had to go to the inside. He doesn't do so. There is a glorious opportunity now for Vigo. Up the inside. Can he get himself 7th? Yes, he can. They're side by side through the first corner, but that inside line is going to do Panic Potato in. And Vigo on the final lap has just about done enough to get 7th place. It isn't over yet. There is still opportunity with one good corner that Panic Potato can fight back. And unfortunately for Panic Potato, that turn 5 was not it. We head up the hill. It's a nice run as we head up the hill for the final time. As we go toward the front, and I've just missed it, with Moo Moo over the line to win for NWR. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. NWR and Laguna Seca off to a perfect start. Bar the fastest lap. What a start for those 3 drivers. What a start in general for a few of these teams. What a perfect start for NWR, and even, well, P1R on their debut will take that, as the Dark Knight will come over for 5th. BX has gone away with all the fighting behind to end in 6th. Vigo beats out Panic Potato, should not be disappointed with his day at the office, as Vigo gets 7th, Panic Potato 8th, Syndra will run in 9th, Alessandro will get 10th, as he rounds out the top 10. Zico has been a dismal day for Project Platypus. We'll have to settle for 11th. Ahmed tried to get himself back again way too long after his mistakes. Ahmed gets 12th. Bate's going to end in 13th on what has not been a good day for him. And an even worse day for Cameron, realistically, when you think about that. In realistic terms, this has been a great day at the office if you're one of 3 teams. NWR 1, 2, 3 is a perfect start they could have only dreamed of. And if you're P1R, Project 1 Racing on their debut top 5 in Lobby A, excellent start for them. That might be a drive realistically worthy of Drive of the Month, to be completely honest with you. Same, well, Panic Potato, Apex's highest finish for a very long time. I'm not entirely sure when the last time they finished in the top 8 of a Lobby A race was. But an exceptional day at the office for the South African, and for P1R, and for NWR, who was definitely leading the championship after round 1. We'll see what the rest of the season is going to bring us. But that's how we end it. NWR well off in the distance after round 1, with a very good grasp on already on a chance of making the top 5 at the end of round 6. A couple of the other teams trying to make statement drives. We'll see how all that shakes out. Next week, let's see. I'll just double check where we go. Let's take a look at the calendar before everyone starts to head off. We are heading off to Alsace next week. So we're back. We've gone from Laguna in the States all the way over to the French. Well, the French Alps, realistically, as we head towards Alsace and Watkins Glen and Grand Valley, so back to the States after that. But with that being said, brilliant day for 3 of the teams, not so much for the rest. That being said, I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Peace.